Next we have Vievee Francis, the author of 3 books of poetry, most recently Forest Primeval, which has been longlisted for the PEN Open Book Award. She is the recipient of the Rona Jaffe Prize and a Kresge Fellowship. Her work has appeared in numerous publications, including Best American Poetry, Poetry Magazine, and Angles of Ascent, a Norton anthology of contemporary African-American poetry. She is currently an associate editor for Callaloo and a visiting poet at North Carolina State University. Will you please welcome Vievee Francis.
So about 4 years ago, I moved from Detroit, Michigan to the mountains of North Carolina after my husband let me know that he wanted to take a job at Warren Wilson. And it was quite an astonishing move, very different. And I was putting it lightly. And so I found myself writing poem after poem to negotiate those changes. And I'm going to read some of the poems written from halfway up a mountainside near Asheville, North Carolina. Another anti-pastoral. I want to put down what the mountain has awakened, my mouth full of grass, my curious tale. I want to stand still but find myself moved patch by patch. There's a bleed in my throat. Words fail me here. Can you understand? I sink to my knees, tired or not. I now know the ragweed from the goldenrod and the blinding beauty of green. Don't you see? I'm shedding my skins. I'm a paper hive, a wolf spider, the creeping ivy, the ache of a birch, a doe, a heifer. I have fallen from my dream of progress, the clear-cut glass, the potted and balconied tree, the lemon-waxed wood over a marbled pillar into my own nocturne, the lullabies I had forgotten. How could I know what slept inside, what would rend my fantasies to cud, and up from this belly's wet straw-strewn field, these soundings. Happy opens with an epigraph from Longfellow. Listen to a tale of love in Arcadia, home of the happy. Happy, I would not say so. Rather settled in this moment where no axe falls. And one might wonder why not happy in such an idyllic place, with more trees than might be named, and the blooms ever blooming, in a heat seemingly ceaseless, as the red-throated woodpeckers, as the tree frogs mating endlessly on the same limbs a black bear might loll from, indolent and berryful. You have heard me say nature will have its way, that we build only way stations. I was proud. I thought I understood, but now I have come to this blue ridge which rests its toll. My sleep grows longer. My dreams follow into my days. I have begun to name the birds by their feathering, their calls and clamor. Nightjar, flicker, plover, shrike. Before the mountain, I knew the incinerated cities. I knew another South. But that was before I was another, the one I am becoming as roots reclaim this soil, as what is felled within me takes on a form I could not have imagined, whose seeds had always rested below like a sorrow of banjos. Skinned. There are, after all, several ways to skin anything. My grandmother knew most of those ways. She had been skinned herself, so to speak, in that her skin was so often examined and found wanting. What would one want to do with it, really? Despite the constant oiling, which left her arms soft as anyone could possibly desire, her hands were ruins. She never hit me with them. My grandfather took her with her hands at her sides. Laundry water, cotton bowls, horsehide, the blood of goats. She had to cook and I had to eat. She could skin a raccoon in minutes, revealing the purple flesh easing as snapping a guinea neck. She would have given anything to wake up in a new skin, though hers was delightful in the light. But what did I know? The toil had taken its toll, and though her face barely wrinkled, her knees and elbows darkened into the skin I wear now, roughened into the heels I scratch against a husband's calves because I don't listen. I refuse to wear shoes. I'm as country as she didn't want me to be. I loved the way she smelled, like outdoors, like new sheets, like hot grease and rifle burn, cream of wheat with coffee, front porch, corn cob. Her skin held all she did her best to scrub free, scrub so hard it liked to take the skin right off of her, which was what she wanted, to have it off on her own terms, not the eyes that demonized her, unsightly, dirty, unseemly. She saved for lace, for crinolines, for pretty gloves and wide-brimmed hats to hide her skin. Mine is mottled, stress-blemished, but soft as hers, and I know it. Easy enough to remove. As a girl, I tried to burn it off, to find the pink I was convinced lay below. I'm not the first. I wore scarves she made to cover the evidence of my curiosity. Now I give myself over to the lotions of the day, disparage the oils she did not love but felt she needed. She'd stroke my cheek and say, "Good baby," and I'd feel good in my skin in that moment. I'd hold her tight and whisper, "You're the prettiest," and she'd feel good in her skin in that moment. I want to forget, but I have my mirrors, and there she is, shadowed in a sunstruck field. Salt for Vidra. So I'm 15 years older than my little sister Vidra, and my little sister's wealthy and I'm not. She's a marvelous poet, but she told me she didn't go into poetry because she didn't want to be poor. I said, okay. So she treated me to this marvelous resort in Miami, Florida, and she's allergic to fish. And we were the only two African Americans in the resort, and well, you'll hear the story. Salt. Allergic to fish, shellfish or otherwise, my sister shouts, "Watermelon!" when surprised by a fruit dinner at the resort where she and I are sharing sister time, something we rarely do. I'm old enough to be her aunt or even her mother, 15 years older in fact, and like a mother, I take delight in her delight. She won't be hungry this evening. The chef has prepared something especially for her, having no idea what she looks like, only that a temporary resident needs something beyond seafood. Only the fruit goes untainted. A gentleman from Georgia sits with us as we eat our dinner, as we wait for dinner. He, from a good family, strong values, can go back several generations, looks at me directly into my black pupils, and I know what he knows. A whole history rides the vehicle, the mule train, the wagon, the dust track of my sister's outburst. And we begin to laugh, hysterically. Watermelon! He, for all the expected reasons, and I laugh because somewhere I want to cry. The landscape under my breast, topography of pines, clay bottomlands, roofs of tin, and the lie of it. The fruit so sweet, so red, and now seedless. He and I both know how delicious such things can be, but he can eat his without shame, without notice. And my sister, in all her Yankee naivete or innocence, knows only that she is being served a treat, something that won't swell her throat or noose her breath, while he and I share our secret through grins, giggling until we damn near choke. Thank you.